You probably think that your body is stiff, sore, and broken because you're getting older, because you injured yourself in your sport, or maybe because you sit too much. But none of these things are the real reason that your body feels terrible. Now, the good news is I'm going to show you how to fix your body so that you can live a pain-free, strong, mobile, and resilient life, so that you can reach your highest physical potential. You also have to understand that your tightness is a symptom, not the root problem. And what you have to understand is that looking a certain way is a byproduct of how you train and move and think and live your day-to-day life. So instead of training to look good, train to move well. Aesthetics don't equal function. You might look strong, but you can't move shit. And muscles without movement, it's just like decoration. It all starts with understanding these 5 core principles about movement. The first thing you have to understand is that movement is a skill, and you're not practicing it. You're treating movement like a workout, like an exercise. You think of it as a means to burn calories, to get a pump, to hit PRs, to hit some superficial aesthetic goals, but not as a skill that requires practice and constant refinement. You compartmentalize movement. So you lift weights in the gym and then you sit at a desk for the rest of the day. You're training for an hour, but you're ignoring movement for the other 23 hours. It shouldn't be like that. Human beings have evolved to move for 23 hours and to sit for 1 hour. You're focusing on intensity instead of consistency. So you hammer yourself with brutal workouts and then you spend the rest of the day moving like a zombie. You're prioritizing big lifts and flashy exercises over basic human movement patterns like squatting, hanging, crawling, brachiating, rolling, wrestling, jumping, dancing. You are not building the foundational skills that make your body function as a cohesive unit and that take you back to a place where you're treating your body in a way that it was designed to move. And this is the real reason. So do you understand why this is keeping you stuck? Movement is a skill, not a task. And if you don't practice a skill, you're going to lose that skill. When you only move in straight lines, up, down, side to side, bench press, deadlift, squat, you are neglecting real-world movement, the rotational, lateral, and spiral patterns that your body craves, that real-life movement craves, that sports crave. So we're not addressing these things in our training, and then we wonder why we get hurt in doing day-to-day things like moving a couch or picking up the keys. You're only strong in isolation, but weak in integration. So you can squat heavy, but you can't get up off the floor without using your hands or without your back seizing up. That's not okay. The less you move, the more your nervous system forgets how to move. And that's when injuries happen. And that's why you come to a place where you're feeling like a broken vegetable and you don't even know how you got there. So how do you fix this? Well, first of all, you stop thinking of movement as a workout and you start thinking of it as practice. You are a craftsman who comes to work every day trying to perfect your craft. It's just like learning a language. The more that you do it, the more fluent you become. You need to integrate micro movement snacks throughout the day. So set a timer and do 1 to 2 minutes of movement every hour. Squat, hang, crawl, twist, touch the ground. Just do things that require your body to move. Give it medicine because movement is your medicine. Practice foundational patterns daily. So do your deep squats, your passive hangs, your crawls, your lateral lunges, your spinal rotations. These are all like the ABCs of movement. And essentially, they don't even exercise. They are something that you should be doing in your day-to-day life as part of being a human. We are constantly here in this position, sitting. Chronic sitters, that's what I call today's people. It's like they do not move outside of the realms of up, down, side to side and sit. So, it's no wonder why we're feeling broken all the time. You need to explore movement outside the gym. Get outside, roll on the ground, touch the grass, hang from a tree, walk barefoot. Move in ways that you haven't since you were a kid. Because if you think about it, we all have this ability as kids to move with complete freedom, without exercising, without going to the gym, without doing sets, reps, and dedicated workouts. So ask yourself the question, where did you lose that ability? You can get back out there and you can reclaim what you lost. It's in you, but it's just been dormant for a very long time. And you have to prioritize consistency over intensity. It's not about how much you can lift. It's about how well you can move through full ranges of motion. The second thing you have to understand is that your body is not broken. It's just protecting you. It's protecting you from years of neglect and poor movement patterns. So it's constricting, it's suffocating, it's not allowing you to even explore that freedom that is within you. So you are first of all labeling your body as broken, as damaged, as injured. I have a bad back, my hips are tight, my knees are shot. How is this going to help you to achieve anything in life? If your knees and your back and your shoulders are damaged right now at 40, 50, 60 years old, what is the next 30 years of your life going to look like? How are you going to get out of this? It's just going to go down. Nothing is going to improve unless you actually take the steps and bring that intention towards fixing yourself and to stop actually labeling yourself in these negative ways and speaking to yourself in these negative ways. Okay, so really quick, I want to share a resource with you that I have available if you are currently feeling injured, stiff, broken. If you're a professional athlete looking to improve your mobility, my mobility toolkit is currently helping over 50,000 people in 40 plus countries, people ranging from all walks of life, complete beginners, professional athletes, men and women in their 70s and 80s. If you have 15 minutes to spare, this will work for you and it's going to produce dramatic results within weeks. Check it out. You need to stop being fixated on stretching tight muscles and not addressing the root cause of your issue, because that's not going to help you. You're just numbing your body's signals with foam rolling, massages, physios, chiros, and you're silencing the messenger instead of listening to the message. All the weaknesses, all the pain points, everything that gets exposed, you should welcome that, because that tells you, hey, I better do something about this, because if I don't, I'm not on a good path. I'm not going to get to where I want to be, and who knows what's waiting for me on the other side. As I said to you, you have a duty to yourself to make yourself perform at your peak physical potential. It's your biggest resource. So how are you managing this? How are you treating this? You have to be aware of this. You are also ignoring the fact that your tightness is a protective mechanism. Your body is locking down a joint to prevent you from injuring yourself further. Of course, it's not going to allow you to move, to squat, to bend, to touch your toes, to hang from a bar, because it's going, hey, you're not ready for this. You haven't moved for the last 20 years. There's no way I'm allowing you to get down there. But you can overcome this through work. So do you understand why this is keeping you stuck? When you view your body as broken, as limited, as unable, as old, as fragile, you reinforce that narrative. So you're not empowering yourself to fix it. You're identifying with the dysfunction. It becomes you. You are a dysfunctional, broken, immobile human, and you're never going to get better. Now that is a miserable life to live when the solution is so simple. I work with students from all walks of life, from complete beginners to 85-year-old grandparents. Some of them never trained a day in their life. So if, people without limbs, if people in wheelchairs, people with multiple sclerosis, people who are 85-year-old beginners, if all of them can fix themselves and they have the willpower to actually change and to get better, then what's wrong with you? You also have to understand that your tightness is a symptom, not the root problem. If you keep stretching without addressing the weakness, your tightness is just going to keep coming back. So again, the more that you silence the signal with quick fixes, the more that your body will scream at you. That tight hip becomes a torn labrum eventually, and that stiff back becomes a herniated disc. Like I said to you, things are not going to get better on their own unless you make a proactive decision to actually do something about it. And if you've been trying to do something about it and it's not working, then reevaluate what you're actually doing. Because if it's not working, you got to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So how do you fix this? Well, first of all, reframe your mindset. Your body isn't broken, it's protecting you. Tightness is a red flag, a signal that something is unstable, weak, or misaligned. So we need to address that. Instead of stretching tight muscles, instead of going to the physios and chiros and massage therapists to fix you, identify what is weak or inactive. So for example, do you have a tight lower back? Then we need to strengthen the core, the hip stabilizers, the glutes, the posterior chain. Do you have tight hip flexors? Again, we have to activate those glutes and mobilize the thoracic spine. Your body works as one whole unit. So there's no use in you targeting the area that hurts. So movement will help you fix this in a holistic way, because we're moving the body through many ranges, through many planes, in many different directions. And this is what you're missing. And this is why you're constantly injured, and this is why you can't fix it. You need to apply the strengthen first, stretch later principle. So strength through controlled end ranges. This is the key towards fixing your pain and injuries, towards achieving long-lasting flexibility, resilient joints, and actually being able to move. And strength doesn't mean just lifting up a barbell. It means strength through your full, complete range. And some of you don't even know what range you have available because you've never put your body through that. Some of you are fearing movement because you think your body shouldn't go into these positions. Your body should go into these positions, but you have neglected it for so long that now it feels like the only position it can have is sitting in a chair and moving up and down like a robot. You need to think of movement as a conversation with your body and stop silencing it with quick fixes and temporary band-aid solutions. You must listen to what your body is trying to tell you. The third thing you must understand is that strength without control is a liability. It's a recipe for disaster. So if you're chasing strength numbers without mastering the foundation patterns, you're doing yourself a disservice. Sure, you see it all the time in the gym, people squatting, benching, pulling, pushing, looking strong as hell. But are they really strong? They do not have the foundational patterns. They have not mastered the basic human movements. So that's like stacking bricks on top of a rusty foundation. It's going to eventually topple over. You're going to end up injured, stalled in your progress, and unable to understand why you're feeling the way you are in your body. So like I always say, maybe you can bench press 100 kilos, but can you do a strict push-up in between rings without compensating through your spine? You can squat 200 kilos, but can you actually sit down all the way into a squat, lay back, come up without using your hands, move along the ground, touch the floor, crawl? Can you even touch your toes? Can you even lift yourself before attempting to lift all of these external loads? You're lifting heavy, but moving fast, neglecting control in the eccentric phases. You're neglecting your full range of motion. That strength means nothing to me if you can't stand on one leg, do a locked knee good morning, balance, move in lateral patterns. So being strong in certain positions and weak in others is not a good way to approach your training. You're not going to be able to develop this mobility. And when most people ask me, how do I integrate mobility training into my current training? Well, I tell them it should be a part of your training. It's not an additional thing. It's how you approach your training in general. You need to revamp that, and you need to add elements of full range of motion, loading those patterns, moving out of alignment, moving in non-linear patterns. And this will help you become robust, resilient, bulletproof, injury-free. And this is what is keeping you stuck. Strength without control is like having a sports car with no brakes. All power, no control. The heavier you lift without owning the end range, the more you reinforce compensations and dysfunctions. This is why most athletes are broken and injured. I was one of them. My body was so good at compensating. Athletes push. They push through pain, they push through discomfort, they're always doing. And eventually it catches up with you. So even though you think you're doing okay now, it's going to catch up to you because you're building power in positions that you can't stabilize. This is going to increase your risk of injury. This is not going to allow you to progress in movement in a way that allows you this freedom, not just now when you're young and healthy, but well into old age when you can't keep up doing the things that you're doing now. And I see the comments all the time. People are saying to me, sure, but can you lift heavy weight? I do lift heavy weight relative to my body, but I'm never going to compromise that for range of motion and for freedom of movement. That comes after, and you can have both if you approach your training correctly. So how do we do that? We prioritize slow, controlled movements. We focus on eccentrics. We focus on building strength through a full range of motion. So lowering under control. You're going to feel every inch of the range. And being present with the movement, it doesn't mean just moving weight. It means, can you actually feel which muscles are activating, which stabilizers are activating, where the weakness is coming through. You also need to apply isometrics to lock in that control. So I always advocate for long isometrics, especially in lower body workouts. This will help with developing end range strength. This will help with increasing your flexibility. This will help you achieve skills like splits, backbends, handstands, all of that sort of stuff. And it's often overlooked in most training programs. You must integrate unilateral work to expose asymmetries. So split squats, pistol squats, single leg RDLs, Bulgarians, single arm presses, single arm hangs, single arm push-ups, all of that sort of stuff. And this is what's going to rebalance your body, but it's also going to allow you to expose more weaknesses and to address them and to, eventually rebalance the body where it feels completely different. And then you need to embrace full range movements that are probably considered unsafe in most fitness programs. Loaded Jefferson curls, loaded pistol squats, loaded Cossack squats, various lunges. So not just, up, down, side to side, but across your body, behind your body, dislocating your shoulders. All of these things are super important if we want to be taking our body through its full range of motion and challenging the joints to move in a way that they're actually designed to move. So you need to slow down, focus on control, not just power and strength, and you need to master the basics. You can spend the next year or two just mastering the basic patterns, loading them, increasing the range of motion and exploring movement through them. Number 4, you are training parts, not patterns. So you're isolating muscles instead of integrating patterns. You go and you train your chest, you have a leg day, you have a glute day. I see some people out there having an arm day. Having an arm day for training. I mean, what a waste of training. I'm sorry, but unless you're a bodybuilder putting money on the table for doing that bodybuilding, you have no business going to train your arms on a single day. Where is that actually getting you? You're treating the body as separate parts, but the body moves as one whole unit. Not to mention, you're not actually making the most of your training. A lot of you complain about the fact that you don't have a lot of time to train or that you're busy, and then you go to the gym to run on a treadmill or to train your biceps. First of all, you don't even have to go to the gym to get a good workout. And second of all, when you are actually training, you should maximize that training time by training your full body, exploring different patterns, training in a way that challenges your whole mental existence, training in a way that strengthens your mental health as well, develops skill, keeps you excited, keeps you motivated, keeps you progressing. This is how you need to train, not isolating body parts. Because when you isolate muscles, you're building strength in pieces, not as connected systems. You're strong in individual lifts and specific patterns, but you are weak in integrated movements, like a simple thing of like getting up off the floor. So do you understand the disconnect now between training, exercising, and actually moving through life in a way that a human being has evolved to move, in a way that reflects movement in day-to-day life, in sport, in unpredictable circumstances? Out in the jungle, you have all the tools, you're very book smart, but you're not very street smart. Because the moment I put your strong bicep out there into the real world, you can't handle it. And that's how it is. And I'm sorry to tell you, I know a lot of people think they're fit. I know a lot of people think they're strong. I was one of those people. I used to think as an athlete, I could run, I could jump, I could lift, I could this. I couldn't do a basic human pattern like a squat that my 80-year-old grandma could do, because she never stopped moving in natural ways that humans are supposed to move. It's not normal that a strong human who goes, works and trains out and can't hang off a bar for 30 seconds. And it's crazy to me that people are not seeing that. The fitness industry has brainwashed us into thinking this way. That's all we really know. You see it everywhere on social media, you see it everywhere. People go to the gym, they do cardio, they do their steps, they do their lifts, they do their glute workouts, they do their chest workouts, and boom, they go home. They have a protein shake and they think they're doing themselves a service. Well, I'm sorry, but that is not movement. That is not freedom. That is not going to have a sustainable sort of practice for you long term. So you need to reframe your training. Think patterns, not parts. Integrate primal movements, squatting, hanging, crawling, rolling, twisting, dancing, breakdancing. Go soft, go hard, go slow, go fast. Connect the chain. So move from the floor to standing to the ground. Practice flow-based sequences. Use compound movements to connect upper and lower body. All of these things come together. And the more that you do it, the more that you explore those ranges, the more freedom you are going to get. And then you won't feel so stiff, so broken, so immobile. You're going to feel incredible in your own body. You don't even know how good you can feel. And number 5, you are chasing aesthetics, but you're neglecting function. I get it. All of us want to look good. It's normal. I love a good looking body as well, but not at the expense of my movement. And what you have to understand is that looking a certain way is a byproduct of how you train and move and think and live your day-to-day life. 1 hour at the gym and, micromanaging what you eat on a day-to-day basis is not the solution. It might work for 12 weeks or for you to step on stage or to get into your bikini body or whatever else you're aiming for. But it's like, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. You have to look good 24/7, 365 days a year for the rest of your life. You shouldn't come to a point where, this becomes too difficult, becomes a chore to do, you become unhappy with your progress, and then you go 10 steps back and you end up, looking like a couch potato. Because that's what happens with most people. It's not sustainable. They're chasing the wrong thing. They're reverse engineering. If you live, breathe, think, move every single day like a high performer, like an athlete, like someone who values movement, no doubt you're going to look incredibly amazing. No doubt. So instead of training to look good, train to move well. Instead of building muscles, try to connect movement patterns. Stop ignoring the basics. Aesthetics don't equal function. You might look strong, but you can't move shit. And muscles without movement, it's just like decoration. Again, I understand people want to look good, and that's great. A healthy body, a body that moves and prioritizes movement should look incredible. You should have lean muscle. You should have that ability to be confident in your body in any situation. But I repeat myself, that will be a byproduct of your training, of your mindset, of how you show up to your practice, of how you value your practice. It's a no-brainer, really. The ones that go wrong are the ones who try to reverse engineer and they try to go for some superficial goal, or they try to look like their favorite Instagram influencer. No, that is not going to get you results. And that is why you're going to stay broken. Flip that switch, focus on movement, focus on performance, focus on performing at your peak physical potential day in and day out with everything that you do. And you're going to look damn well good. I promise you that. And it's so simple. 5 simple things that you can incorporate today to reframe the way you look at your training, your movement, your practice. At the end of the day, it is a practice. And it's going to take you a hell of a long time to reverse the damage and the neglect that you've put your body under for the last 20 years. But that's all right, because any step that you take is a step in the right direction. So you need to stop limiting yourself. You need to stop putting these limiting beliefs on yourself. You need to speak to yourself with more positivity, more kindness, more discipline. And you need to go out there and revamp the way that you're doing things. Make movement a priority in your life. Move in a way that humans have evolved to move. Prioritize moving better over looking better, and the rest will come as a byproduct. You are not broken. You are not immobile. You are not old. You are not injured. You just do not move, and you do not prioritize movement. And that's where it starts. So start today. Little steps, your squatting, your hanging, your daily movement snacks. Get into the gym and move in unconventional ways. Have a different approach and a mindset to your practice. And I promise you, in 2 months, 3 months, you're going to be transformed. You're going to be on your way to achieving incredible things with your body and having your body operate at its peak physical potential.